We are live
We're
with
live.
y'all, wherever you
Y'all.
are.
Where are y'all?
I don't know, but I'm going to do this, like try to hit you. You're on the wrong side.
I
What's
know
going on?
I like this side of the bed.
Well, I don't care what side of the bed I'm on as long as I'm on the bed.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, better than the floor, my friend. Much
That's
better than the
correct.
floor.
Much more comfortable. Anyway, welcome to Element 115. It is Friday night, and our guest bugged out, and we had two other people that we were trying to pull on, and that kind of didn't work either. But we've got a lot of things we can talk about. So Tim, James, and I are gonna get into the paranormal. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and make sure we have room on our bed for y'all too. So there you go.
It's a
Let's
party.
just throw it in there.
It's a party.
It's a party. It's a party. So I'm gonna go ahead and start inviting everybody into the show here.
You betcha.
Ray's fan was number one. That's a surprise.
He's back in number one. Nice.
I think that just about every week. I think he makes it, right?
Yeah.
I got Mel WD40 in the house. Hey Mel, lubing us up for the weekend. Hey, I appreciate that. I really, really like that you're here. All right. Mm-hmm. And then we got Cosmic Joe Chronicles in the house, and we got JMJ12. Is that some interesting lingo? Maybe you can tell us what that's about there, JMJ12. I'd like to know. Yeah. Kitty Cat Whack is here. Hey, welcome. Amanda's Crazy Life. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you showing up. We got Joanne as well. Leo, welcome to the show. We got J Truth Seeker, of course. Yep, I found out what that flag means, and that's awesome. And Philip Blair's in the house as well. Everybody's jumping on in.
Yeah.
Who else do we got there, Tim?
Well, we've got Deanna Ann. She's in the house. Barefoot Betty. Well, good evening to you as well, and thanks for popping in.
Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Lee said, we had a small bit of a glitch, and our guest last minute. So, I hope he's doing well. We'll have him back on because this looks like it was going to be a good one. So, fortunately or unfortunately, you're going to have to put up with the Lee and Tim banter show tonight. So, we'll do our best to keep her going and warm you guys up for the 9:00 SOR show with Dave. So, just buckle up and hang on, and we'll do our best.
Not only that, it is Friday and it's a long weekend. So we are going to go ahead and warm you up for the long weekend. So we appreciate you being here. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and roll the intro, and then we'll be right back with you.
Oh, dear Lord, it's these two ass clowns again. Well, now that you're here, you might as well sit down and get comfortable.
Welcome to the dimension of the unknown, where the imagination reigns supreme, crafting worlds and realities that defy the limitations of our mortal coil. Beyond the veil of reality, there exists a realm that defies the boundaries of human perception. Certain places beckon with an otherworldly allure, stirring the senses and whispering secrets of a dimension that lies just beyond the threshold of our mundane existence. The air is alive with an electric anticipation, as if the next step might unravel the very fabric of reality, plunging us into an abyss from which there is no return. This realm is a boundless expanse, as infinite as the cosmos and as timeless as the ages. It inhabits the twilight zones of existence, where the glow of knowledge and the shadows of ignorance entwine like lovers in a cosmic dance. here the rational and the mystical converge, suspended between the depths of human terror and the pinnacle of our understanding. Welcome to Element 115.
So I want to say right off the bat, Cosmic Joe, or I should say Joe Treat Seekers, he's asking us right now if there's other people in the chat that do their own shows. And I would be interested in that as well. Is there anybody else in chat that does their own shows? Because I think that's pretty darn cool. It's not just us out there that's, broadcasting and sharing, what it is to learn and understand, or try to understand what it is in the paranormal, right? We're all trying to come up with the answers. And that's why we're here doing what we do. And that's why Tim and Dave go into the woods, free willy, and go hang out where there's Big Bear, because they want to know more.
Absolutely. No, that's just it. And we went out last Saturday and did our initial I guess start of everything, and I went to post it this morning and I put a delay on it, and it delayed, so had to go to work. So that'll be up at some point, I would suspect, this evening, if after I talk to Dave and see if that's the way he wants to go on it. But it's in the can, ready to go for everybody to check out, and it'll be on the SOR YouTube page. And yeah, you guys can check that out as well.
Well, see, that's similar to what we do as well. Even though I'm Element 115 and you are Element 115, and Dave does his show, we all go out in the field for research. This is where the real fun happens. Let me tell you.
Yep.
Right. And so I've been doing this for years, for probably about 13 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Wow. Learned something new about you.
Yeah. Actually going out in the field and investigating. Before that, I've had plenty of experiences, in the woods with Bigfoot, and not so much in the woods with ET that I'm aware of, but more, at home with ET sort of stuff. So, I've been experiencing it for a long time. And the fact that, I went forth to investigate, it's because we want to know more. Everybody in chat, everybody has these burning questions that they want answered.
Absolutely.
Right. And Tim, you are lucky enough to live near Dave up in Canada.
Yes.
Near a very hot spot. A very a flight 21.
Yes.
Yes. And would you consider that like a friendly place to go to look for the phenomena?
Personally, myself, I've been up there twice now, and for me, there tons of energy. There's just tons of energy up there, and it's different. Like, and I think I had said the other night is I can walk 10 feet, or Dave and I had walked 10 feet, and you're getting different feelings. So, but by no means did I feel threatened. I did not feel uncomfortable in a way like somebody or something wanted us out of there. Yeah, I know that Dave and crew last year went through quite a they had a lot of their own experiences, and I think it started turning negative. But yeah, no, I right at this point in time, and obviously I can only speak from what I've experienced. It's weird, no question. But yeah, I haven't felt that oh my gosh, we got to get out of here, trust your gut feeling yet. So hopefully it doesn't happen, but yeah, don't know.
Well, similar to the things that I've experienced, there's places here in Washington State that we go on purpose because we've had strange phenomena.
Sure.
Because we felt, maybe, I don't know this for sure, but maybe similar to what you feel when you're there, right?
Mhm.
It's a different vibration.
Yes.
It's almost as if it touches something deep within you.
Mhm.
And it either makes you feel like, hey, you're welcome in this location, or hey, you're not, and you need to leave.
Right.
Right. So, as I've talked with Dave and you before, when you feel that negative thing, you need to get out of there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to have multiple locations. In fact, here in Washington State, I am still searching for more locations because I don't always like to go to the same place.
Right.
And so this weekend, for 2 nights, we are going to Diablo Lake.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually connected to Ross Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Which goes up into Canada.
Yeah, right into the Skagit Valley.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. So,
Been there, camped there, and grew up through there with my dad and my brother. We hiked all through there when I was a kid growing up. That was our stomping grounds.
okay. So as I looked into this location, I found the location first. I'm like, hey man, I've been up the highway, I think it's Highway 2,
Mhm.
Highway 20. I've been up there plenty of times, like, every summer. Going up there, it's beautiful. It's like driving through the Swiss Alps is what it's like. It's just gorgeous. Huge hanging glaciers. It's just amazing up through there. And of course, there's the turquoise lake of Diablo Lake.
Mm.
And so I start looking into this because this is a good place for us to set up for a night watch viewing of the sky, right? And any possible UFO activity, right?
Mhm.
So I start doing research and I'm finding out that there's all these missing people. Not only that, in this area, there is a ton of Sasquatch reports.
Oh, perfect.
Not only that,
Uh-huh.
there is UFO activity.
Oh,
Diablo Lake lights is what they're calling it.
mhm.
Now, this all is happening in this area, and it's been happening for centuries, from what I understand, way back in the native, when the Native Americans were around. They have legends about this area,
Huh.
about these lights that are running through the trees or over the lake or in the water of the lake, just floating around, whatever, there's lights, and they don't know what the phenomena is. So we get 2 nights.
Mhm.
Hopefully 2 nights. We'll be able to capture something right now.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of people on the trails around there and headlamps, right? That's going to be key.
Sure.
I understand that there could be people on the lake in kayaks and boats and that sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
So there's all those known things that
Sure.
that I would be looking out for, but it's the unknown that I'm interested in, right?
Yeah.
It's the legends, it's all the stories that have been passed down. It's the stories that make it onto Google and other places like that I'm interested in hearing about, and that's the phenomena that I'm after.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully, with enough cameras and enough patience, because it does take a lot of patience, I'll tell you,
Mhm.
we'll be able to capture something. Now, the other thing about Diablo Lake, this location that we are going, we're not able to spend the night at the lookout spot. We're going to have to go somewhere else, and then we'll have to come back during the next day and then set up again. But we will be going live those 2 nights. So from 8 o'clock to God knows when, maybe 3 a.m., we will be going live. The other thing about that is it will only be on Facebook, because I don't want to interrupt anybody else's programming, because we've got Rob G that does the weekend. So I don't want to disturb anything that he does. But when I go out to do these investigations, I do broad for the most part. Okay. As long as I can have an area that's free of trees, I will set up and get a signal on Starlink and broadcast live.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, go ahead.
oh no, I'm just interested. So you're going to head up there for 2 nights, and is you and your buddy again?
So it's actually going to be 4 of us this
Oh,
time. I'm
okay.
bringing an additional person that has had some UFO experiences, and kind of what my thought was is maybe I can roll him into my team and
Right.
utilize him. He's a young kid. He's got a good head on his shoulder. He's had UFO experiences in the past.
Okay.
And so, if somebody like ourselves and like the people in the chat have had experiences, they have some knowledge about what they're looking at if they've seen that sort of thing before. And not only that, I want to get him on to tell his stories while I'm out there live doing my Skywatch as well.
Oh, very good. Very
Right?
good. Yeah.
And the
So
thing that go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were done. I keep stepping on you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I just
it's all good.
how long or how far is it from where you're living right now?
It's a 3-hour plus drive.
Oh, cool. So you get a road trip as well. I love that. I love that. I really do.
I don't think I'm going to love it on Monday morning heading back home and all the traffic. Then I have to drive through downtown, or I have to drive through Seattle on I-5.
Oh no, that always sucks. Going
that is when I start hating my life.
Yes, I can understand that. So
yeah,
that's cool. So you guys are going to head up there, and you're going to Diablo Lake. So what is it specifically, like, just for everybody that's listening and watching us tonight? What is it specifically that are you going for a certain purpose, or you just going up there and kind of kicking back and letting whatever happens come what may?
Well, yes and no. So
Okay.
the first thing that we all do as investigators is we figure out, okay, the location, let's take a look at it from Google Earth. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, what are the reports in the area? What type of gear do I need? What are, the conditions that we're going to be in? So clear skies, we're going to be dealing with 80 degrees during the day, 40s at night. And then we're going to have to go down to an area where we can set up our hammocks in the trees or whatever, but close to the road enough.
Yeah.
But I brought, even though we're going to be in that area, I still brought my big parabolic mic.
Okay.
And for audio. And I wanted to capture any sounds that were around in the area, because if there does happen to be some vocalizations,
right,
they're going to echo through that area like you would not believe. If anybody has seen the pictures of Diablo Lake, it is amazing. And the area we're going is way high up, right?
Okay.
It sits about 1,000 feet above the lake.
Oh, wow.
The views are amazing. Just amazing. Think of Banff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the views over some of the lakes up there. That's what we're talking about.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And so having that big parabolic mic out there recording audio, along with, several different types of camera. I'll have my full spectrum and my night vision and my super night vision. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we'll have some gear up there, and we'll, the way I run it when I do a broadcast is I'll switch from one camera to the other back and across all three. Well, I've got a mic on and I'm able to talk, and whoever is with can also talk, and the audience can look at that, and we can also respond to people's questions and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty interactive.
Good deal. That's awesome. Oh, I'd
just
be
like
looking
it would
forward
be
to
here.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
It will be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually go through one of the experiences that somebody had recently at Diablo Lake, where they were on a small boat on the lake.
Right.
And a UFO came down from Canada. Well, it came from the north down to Diablo Lake. It had to go over Ross Lake and then over Ross Lake Dam to get down to Diablo Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's on the lake and he's fishing out there or whatever in his little dinghy boat. And the UFO stops from him about 500 feet away. And he said it was about 200 foot wide.
Wow.
Yeah. In the air above him, about 500 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got these orbs on the craft around the exterior of the craft, and also near the craft there were some other orbs that were just hovering, but it looked like they came off of the craft, like they were the same orbs that were embedded in the side of the craft.
Oh, okay.
And there are these round glowing orbs that were, as he put it, they were like kaleidoscoping with rainbow colors.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he said he watched it for about 10 seconds as it would just sat there near him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took back off up north without a sound, with no disturbance in air or anything over the water or anything near him. So it was completely silent and it didn't disturb the air around it. Which is quite bizarre.
Well, it's a good Canadian UFO, not interrupting and not being disturbing. That's what we do.
That's fantastic. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Probably flew away saying sorry.
Sorry, didn't mean to bother you.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that sounds like it's going to be a good time. It sounds like it's going to be a real good time.
So speaking of that, I know that you guys had your long weekend last weekend.
Yes.
Up in Canada.
Yes.
Right? Did you and Dave have any kind of odd experiences up north?
Nothing really odd. So what we did is we got up there and before we started filming, Dave went out and spoke to the forest and said, look, we're here and we mean no harm and all that sort of stuff. And basically just, laid it out there, explained that we had pointy sticks. And the reason that we had pointy sticks was not to raise them at any entities or Sasquatch or anything that out of the ordinary, but to protect us from the predators up there like grizzly bears and black bears and all that sort of stuff. So Dave laid it out really well. And I know for the audience and people that don't know the story, in a real quick nutshell, Dave and a group of people got chased out last year when they were up there investigating and researching. So they bolted out of there, and Dave's had this calling to come back. So I agreed to go with him and film. So I'm letting Dave lead this, right? It's his story. And we got out there and it was weird because, like I've said many times before, it is so quiet in that area, and no birds, no chipmunks, no squirrels, no anything. But the thing that was most prevalent, whatever, most noticeable, there we go, using big words, Mr. Thesaurus, right? So what I did notice is that the energy changed so much, and it was when we got to our central location where David parked his Jeep and we kind of set up our chairs and stuff. That was great. Felt like we were being watched. It felt like we were being watched on the drive in, but when we got up there, it definitely felt like we were being watched. And then, so as we started touring around, Dave led me down, and I followed him through to where the crash site was. When we got in there, it you didn't feel heavy, like, oh no, but both of us, without knowing until we kind of come together on it, it was like Dave described it as wearing a pair of suspenders that were too tight. And when he had said that, I was agreeing from behind the camera, and it felt like I was wearing a backpack full of rocks. So when you don't have your backpack strapped up properly, so both of us had this heavy weight on our necks and our shoulders. It felt, like you were being pulled down. So,
Yeah.
but once you got out of there, and we walked out of there, it dissipated. Then when we got a little farther down to another trail, all of a sudden it was goosebumps. You could feel not a threatening energy again, but it was just like, something's, there's an energy out there. And then when we went down farther down the trail, there was another energy where it was like, trust your gut, don't go any farther. So technically lots of energy. We thought we heard some whistling. Well, I thought I did, and David thought maybe it was a raven. So it was kind of hard to tell. But the funny part is at the end, when it started to rain and Dave said, okay, this is our signal, it's time for us to go, we started packing up. And like I said, both of us had pointy sticks with us. So
Yeah.
we unload the pointy sticks, and I put the lock on and put it back in the case. Dave does the same with his pointy stick. And then all of a sudden he spins around and he goes, did you see that? And I was like, no, I wasn't facing the way you were. What did you see? So to Dave's left, there's a clearing, and it's over in the crash site, small clearing. He goes, all I saw was something flat run across and, across the trail. And then we heard this thunk, thunk. So Dave goes, mountain lion. There's a cougar. Yeah. So, and I look at Dave, and Dave looks at me. I got a can of bear spray, but I'm like, of course, we just put our protection away and locked it all up. Right. So that was, holy smokes, not too threatening. And it wasn't coming in by any means. We were, he didn't want anything to do with us. And obviously we didn't want anything to do with him. But yeah, that was the I guess the freaky thing. Because I wasn't sure what Dave had seen, but just before we packed up, Dave was sitting to my right. I was sitting obviously to his left, and we were in our lawn chairs. And I kept having just that little weird inkling, like something was over your shoulder, and you kind of turn around and it's nothing. And you turn around again and it's nothing. It's like, okay. I not calmed down, but I just get back into my zone, and we're scanning the bush in front of us and around us. And all of a sudden, right in my left ear, I got a shh. I spun around. Dave's looking at me like, what are you doing? And I said to him, I said, something, and we weren't talking. I said, so something just shushed me in my ear. Dave goes, so I've actually combed over that part and it will be in the video that we put up, but I combed over that part of it, and I cannot see anything behind me. I can't see any, no shadows, no mist, no anything, so when we get it up, and when you guys watch it, you'll get to that part. And then if you can see anything in there that I can't see, because it was on a GoPro. So of course, you know what it's like to film with a GoPro, right? Everything is, it doesn't give you the perspective. It gives you the field, right? So
right,
it was like, So if you see anything, that's part of it too. We want you guys to be involved in it. And if you see anything in the videos or in the forest when we're filming, put it in the comments, let us know, give us the time on it, and we'll go back and have a look at it. Right. But yeah, that was about it. It was energy that was just rampant. It was all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, last time I went out to go pick up my trail cameras, I'm filming down there to go get them going down the hill, across the ravine, across the river, and then over to the other side where grab my trail cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And I put a lot of that footage up on Facebook. I had people contacting me and say, "Hey, did you see that? Do you see that?" And then sending me photos and videos. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't see that. I'm not sure what that is."
Right.
It's hard for me to say for sure what those things are that people are seeing in that footage. I have no idea.
No.
I was there and I didn't sense anything, but that doesn't mean anything either.
No.
Right.
No.
So you have to take those things with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Look at the footage and then figure, well, is this good enough for me to take and then post, alongside or next to this other footage saying, what do you guys think? But I haven't done that yet because I've been so busy trying to get things ready for this weekend. It's been a lot.
Yeah, I'll bet.
It's been a lot. Anyway, so we have a new show on Spaced Out Radio, and it sounds like
two.
I was just going to say, it sounds like we got another one coming as well.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So you guessed it on the inaugural Wednesday 8 p.m. Pacific show with Grant on Wednesday.
Did.
Good show. I got to watch it. I watched it, and you guys, it was great. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good.
He came in strong. It was like, what am I even doing here? Right. So I just kind of sat back there and let him do his thing. And every once in a while I'd throw out a zinger. Because that's the only thing I had. It was like, okay, well,
you're the color guy. That's why you're the color guy. Right.
Yeah, I guess so. I should have had a lot of buttons on my shirt that night. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But, he's a one-man band, and so I think I'll learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
For further shows, that I do for Spaced Out Radio, because he has that knowledge, he has that background, because he was doing that before Rob took over for the weekends. So
that's right.
Hopefully, I'll learn a lot from Grant. He's a smart guy, smart.
Yeah.
So that show is called UFO Max, and it's on Wednesday nights at 8:00 from 8 to 9.
Yep, right here on Spaced Out Radio.
That's right. And so I'll be in the wings, so to speak, there, just to pipe up every once in a while when Grant loses his breath.
We have a tendency to do that. I think we all do at certain points. We get a little long-winded.
That happens. I swear to God, it happens to me too. And then I realize that Tim, oh, hey, Tim, how are you doing?
It's good. It's all good. Yeah. No. And then, so we got Grant show on Wednesdays at 8, from 8 Pacific to 9 Pacific p.m. on Wednesdays on Spaced Out Radio. And starting tomorrow afternoon at 2:00, we have cryptid cartoons with Dirty Filth. So Filth's going to be coming on, and he's going to be doing, like you said, he'll be debating the prices of pickle juice and whatever other topics he chooses to talk about, while creating art and painting pictures and drawing pictures. Now, so we've got 2 new shows that have jumped onto SOR. I'm looking forward to checking out Filth tomorrow. But if you haven't, write it in your calendars. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, check it out. I think everybody would be very, 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 very pleased. And obviously, and then we've got this weekend, and we got Rob G coming in for after hours on Saturday and Sunday. So there's, as Dave would put it, there's a plethora of stuff out there, SOR stuff for everybody. So you don't have to go a night without it.
There you go. That's the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We're just kind of the pre-funk for the main thing, main thing that's coming up at 9:00, right?
Yeah. We're the mozzarella sticks before the prime rib shows up, right?
There you go. Exactly. Like the what's the other one? The pretzel.
Right. A little mustard.
Yeah, exactly. So we will continue. I've got great guests lined up for several weekends to come, several Fridays. Let's
Yeah.
hope they all show up.
Yeah. Or you get to listen to Tim and Lee banter for an hour.
Well, that can't be all that bad.
No, I'm just giving them an out, but yeah, no, it's not that bad.
Right. So one thing I wanted to talk about was with UFO Max and Grant Baker when we had our show last. It was a really super good show. Holy cow. There were so many parallel lines that I was able to draw to other phenomena. So we were talking about the UFOs and how they knew that they had cameras on them.
Right.
And they, shut off out of the way once they realized they had cameras on them. So I've caught that twice. And we talked about another gentleman who was just on Weaponized as well, who talked about that as, and where they saw a UFO come into the screen where actually a satellite captured it. And once it seemed like once it realized that it was being filmed, it shot out of the way and got out of there. Okay. And as everybody knows, UFOs aren't necessarily slow. They're moving at a pretty good clip. Right.
Yeah.
And once they're in the screen, they're kind of in the screen until if they want to get out of the screen, until they're out of the screen, if that's what's actually going on. Well, I gave that some thought because what's going on there? It seems like consciousness is linked in a way, right? It seems like there's this massive database of information that ETs are able to glean, that there's cameras out there that we know about, or that we're viewing, or that we will view later at a different time. And once they show up, they want to get out of the screen right away because they don't want to be seen, or they don't want to affect us in a certain way. Kind of like Star Trek.
Yeah.
That whole we don't want to disturb the people that are on the planet necessarily and mess up their, it's the Prime Directive. I think it's what it's
there.
called.
It is. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, right. So I was thinking about that after the show. I'm like, wait a minute. If that's if that is the case, if they're able to pick up on that information, what is Sasquatch doing when he sees a trail camera?
Exactly.
I shouldn't go there. Maybe this is something that we had way before we started writing, way before language, that we were able to pick up on certain things. We had the ability to gain knowledge from this. Let's call it the Akashic record, for lack of a better term, right?
Okay.
So what if they're able to access that information as well? Like maybe we were able to way back when.
Sure.
And know that there was going to be danger in a certain area. And that's why they avoid trail cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. That's deep, man. Like in a good way. And
super deep.
Yeah, and it's I like that sort of stuff when you get that time, and unfortunately a lot of us don't get that time because you work so much, and but when you get to sit back and contemplate stuff like that, and just let your mind go down that rabbit hole, I find it relaxing. It's almost like reading a book but not having a book, if that makes sense. Yeah, I enjoy that, and those moments are too far and few between, but yeah, I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Maybe that ability that we had way back when, is dormant now because we have language, we have writing, we have all this other ways of communicating. You know, it's strange in my everyday life. It doesn't happen every day, I should say, but it happens maybe once or twice a week where there will be a situation that happens around me. You know, I'll be like, why can't I just let this person understand what's going on in my head right now so they get it, and so I don't have to try to explain it to them, because it's so much stuff, it's so convoluted that if I try to explain it in words, it's not going to come out right. It's like, I know it's not going to come out right. Can't they just, isn't there a way? But maybe there was a way, and that's the problem. That's the thing. There was that way, and we've lost it. But somehow we still think that we're able to possibly do it, but we're not. It's gone.
See, and it's almost, I totally agree with you. I get that, and I understand where you're going with it, because basically, in my opinion, I got to say it, because otherwise it sounds like I know everything. So in my opinion, I find that the society takes those skills that we were naturally born with, and you know, regardless of if it was you know, born yesterday or born 2,000 years ago, the openness and the innocence, society trains it seems to train it out of us, and squash those. I again, not trying to sound like a tinfoil conspiracy theorist, but we must conform, we must follow, we must this is the teachings that we must learn. And I'm 98% sure that what happens is our schools and everything train that out of us. Like, how many times have we heard people say that, you know, oh, my son, when he was little, used to sit and there was a man or a kid that used to hang around and they used to talk, right? Us as grown-ups go, oh yeah, it was just imaginary, and you know, that's what kids do. But there seems to be a lot of proof that this is happening, and it's natural. So going back to what you're saying, as I kind of veer all over the place, is that that I wonder if that was a skill that has been just not used for so long. It's still way back in here, but
Right.
yeah, trying to reach back and trying to grab a hold of it and bring it to the front. I think that's tough. I think we keep all of that stuff in our head. Again, my opinion, I think it's all in there, stored in little tiny compartments and stuff. But drawing it out is super, almost impossible. But there's got to be a way to do it. There has to be a way to do it. I'm sure there has to be a way to do it. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what would it be like to try to unlearn everything that you've learned?
Oh,
that would be very difficult to do. Because you set yourself up on this path, and it's not necessarily we have set the path, but it's been set for us, right?
Yes.
For us, right? To climb that ladder, right?
Yep.
And to go back down that ladder would be very difficult because, you know, society is built a certain way.
Yes.
And so it's almost like done on purpose.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's hard for me to think. Now, the only thing that I can draw this to is when crap hit the fan for me.
Yeah.
And I got taken. Right. And I had to rebuild my idea of what reality was.
I've heard that from experiencers. I've heard that. That's
right.
Sorry, but yeah, that's super interesting.
That is not something we grew up learning about. In fact, it was quite the opposite.
Yes.
So us, the people that have had these experiences in life, you, myself, Dave, other people, the people in chat who have had these experiences have had a diversion
Right.
from the ladder that we're supposed to climb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have all these questions, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, it brings in for us the thought that there's something greater out there that we know that we can get to. We just don't know how to get
How?
there.
That's right. Exactly.
Right? It's
Yeah.
that knowledge. It's there. We know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep striving for it. And that's why I go out
Yep.
and do research on UFOs. I don't know whatever's going to happen with that.
No.
I don't know where I'm going, but
Yeah.
it's something that I have to do. That's why you and Dave
Mm-hmm.
go out into the woods and do what you do,
Yeah.
right?
For sure.
It will bring us closer to what? To where we're meant to be, it feels
That's
like.
it. Yeah. The normal answer to that would be answers. It brings us to answers. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't bring us to answers, but you're right. That's perfect. It brings us to where we're supposed to be. And
Closer.
and you and I talked about this on a show, I think last month, where the same thing. How do you know? Like we talked about that. How do you did? Oh, I decided to go to the store. Did you really decide to go to the store? Did you really decide to go
Yeah,
to this spot in the lake or by a lake? We all think it's our idea, but was it really? Right?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so I think that subconsciously and without thinking, when you guys are just out there saying, well, I'm going to go do this or I'm going to go do
Mhm.
that, sometimes that information isn't our own,
That's
but
right.
it's been given to us, or we're pulling it from that Akashic record somehow,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So we are striving.
Mhm.
And we will continue to strive and be different and go out there to try to learn as much as we can, because
Yeah.
you know what, I'm not happy climbing that ladder that's been put forth in front of me.
Never have been. Never
No,
have been. Yeah.
no.
And
And so
that's why we're black sheep, right? I mean, because we don't yeah, I don't understand it, but
yeah, but that's why we gravitate towards other people that feel the same way we do, right?
exactly.
That have those questions, that want those answers answered.
Mhm.
And like you were saying, we're not going to necessarily come up with the answers, but you know what? It's fun trying to get them, because we know that we're going down or going up the wrong ladder.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. No, and that's just it. We all turned left or turned right a little bit, and yeah, we kind of stopped. I shouldn't say stop climbing the ladder, but I think we slowed down and
Mhm.
we just we'll catch up, right?
Yeah. We're
We
gonna look over here and we're gonna look over there and we're gonna,
yeah.
because it's much more interesting too, right?
Mhm. Yep.
There's so many just amazing phenomena out there, and who wants to go through life just doing life?
Yeah, exactly. Not me. Not me.
No,
Not at
no,
all.
not at all. I'm not interested in, just getting in there and retiring and collecting my pension and doing all the, those sorts of things. I want to know.
Absolutely.
We are not done learning, damn it.
No. No.
You know what I mean? And the stuff, the phenomena that we're dealing with and the phenomena that we're interested in,
Mhm.
it's gonna carry us all the way into the next life,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
right?
Yep. Agreed 100%. And it was funny because, like you say, we're all somewhat of similar mindset. We all, like I said, took left and rights off of the ladder. But last night it was even when Grant Cameron was on with Dave, and it was so Dave brought it up and said that I think it was something about Sasquatch or alien. I think it was even though we're so interested in finding out about whatever it is, whatever UFO, Sasquatch, whatever. but we're so interested in finding out. Dave put it perfect. He goes, I don't want anybody to actually capture or detain a Sasquatch. I don't want, I don't know if I want disclosure. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to quote him, but he goes, the fun and the mystery and the learning and even the camaraderie. I'm adding that's my 10 cents or whatever. But all of that is the mystery. It's the fun of it. It's the excitement. It's what are we going to see? What are we going to learn?
The mystery drives us farther and deeper into things. It beckons us. What would we do without that mystery?
That's what I'm thinking. Like if somebody said, okay, State of the Union address, and okay, here it all is, and this is what we got, and this is where they're at, and this is Phil and Carl, they're alien, although that would be absolutely mind-blowing.
Right.
Once it's all out there, it's like, okay, so now what do we do?
Right.
Right.
Well, I don't want to go down that road, but since you hit that balloon, I want to bat it too. Just because. With that, whatever they come out with, darn right, we're not going to get all the answers, right? No, they might say, not. Hey, of course, there's been aliens or whatever around for millennia. Yeah. But we're not going to learn everything. They're not going to disclose everything. So there'll still be that mystery there.
True.
Right? To some degree. There will be that mystery there. And there's so many other wonderful mysteries. Even if we know, okay, there's a Sasquatch. Okay. Well, sure. There's ETs, right? Well, what about, there's life after death, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing that we are living in is an amazing mystery at the seams, on the edges. It's because we don't have the answers, right? And we got to push ourselves to those edges so that we can learn more. And that's what drives us, I think. And I'm trying to explain it in another way, but I don't think it's coming out correctly. But that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. Anyway. So you and Dave, do you have any more plans this summer to go out? Are you done already?
Oh, no. This is going to be going on for quite some time. So the plan is, and it's no secret because Dave's talked about this on the show. We're going to do 6 weekends in a row, or if we can, and we're going to go out there and sit. He was told we were just supposed to show up, and we were to sit and wait, and basically I'm thinking let everything be accustomed to the same people, the same vehicles. So that's the one part. And then the research. Dave figures this is going to be about a 2 or 3 year process. And it may be, it may not be, but obviously he's the one with the intuition on this. And I think Merle is going to be coming up. I think, and Samantha Mowat. So the 3 of them are going to, I think, investigate again. I will be part of that investigation, but I'll be the dude with the camera. I'm not going to be in front of the camera for any of it. So and it's going to be an overnighter. I think Samantha and Merle have convinced Dave, so I'll be up there with him, and I think little Marky Spender will be there possibly too. So this is an ongoing thing, and we are going to try to keep everybody updated. Besides us just nattering about it, but also weekly putting out videos of the weekend experience that we had. So going to be interesting.
Nice. That is good. When can we expect to see the first video?
It is in the can right now. Like I said earlier, I messed up this morning trying to upload it. So be patient with me. It should, if anything, the latest I would suspect it would be up on SOR would be tomorrow, probably around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch base with Dave tonight while he's on the show. And if he wants me to try to upload it tonight, we might have it tonight, but it'll pop up because all of you have subscribed, rung the
Yes.
bell. You're going to get the notifications.
Mhm.
So when it comes up, it'll show up on whatever, your computer, your phone, whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
The one thing about that is I do those too. I upload little video clips on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen
But
it.
for the major stuff, because I have another guy that's my editor, Ander,
Yeah.
and he puts all that stuff together and actually comes out with an episode.
Right.
So
Right.
we do that. He does that at Ander and Lee on the Trail on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
So we've got season 1, season 2, and part of season 3 up there right now. But yeah, it's a blast. We have a great time doing it. He's a great editor. But it's all about trying to figure out where the edges of our reality are.
Absolutely.
That's the constant thing. And not only that, I would, in the future, I would like to have people come out, maybe, I don't know if this year, but at some point do a whole big thing where we actually go out with all the equipment and everything. And maybe that's something that happens in Las Vegas. I don't know yet. If we all get together and we do a big thing, that might be where I drive down with my rig, with all my equipment, and we just set it up and do a big night watch.
That would be so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
My Area 51 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I think they would be pretty freaked out, me unloading all that equipment out of the back of my truck.
Yeah,
what the hell's going on?
The white Ford Raptors would be up on the hillsides and
Oh boy,
night vision goggles, I'm sure.
Yeah. 7 tripods all lined out there with all kinds of equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. But it's getting close to the end of our show, and I do want to thank you very much for hanging in there with me tonight.
Yeah,
oh
right.
My gosh. But we do have Dave coming up next, and I'll be doing the Q&A later tonight with Dave.
He will.
I will be.
That's good. No, that's I'm looking forward to the show tonight. But yeah, and unfortunately, like Lee was saying, we sometimes run into issues where you can't get a guest, and it seems to be a bit of a theme.
Well, I had a guest.
Oh, I know you did.
In fact, I had 3 for tonight. I had one that was, that was going to work out, and then an hour before the show, he's not feeling good. He just woke up for a nap, and then I scrambled to get another guy who would not get off the phone. Unfortunately, and then I just had to put my phone in the other room because he just kept yammering on, and I got another guy who couldn't come through because his internet connection. So I said, you know what, tonight's not the night for a guest. We're just going to run this thing and go with it. So I'm hoping that you all enjoyed the show tonight. And we'll come back next week
with a guest.
With a guest, yes. Yeah. Next week we have a return guest. I won't tell you who exactly that is, but it will be good. I promise you.
Right on.
Return guest from over a month ago.
Cool. Oh, I think I know.
And then I've got a couple other people in the wings too. One person I'm super excited about that I have not had on the show, that I've only known in passing, but this person has had some ET experiences like you would not believe.
Cool. Cool.
And, super down to earth person. Anyway, we'll get on to that later on and let everybody know. Anyway, so we got Dave up next, and we're going to be hitting the outro. So you all have a good weekend. Tim, have a blast this weekend. Stay safe, everybody.
We'll see you next Friday.
We're out of here.